Yo, 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 everybody, what's going on? Welcome to episode 21 of Unfiltered. I'm your host, ChanManV, and I can hear myself. That's never good. But today... What was that?
I said get fucked.
Whatever. But today we're going to be talking about some Hearthstone with our guest here, Trump, and going to be talking about making mistakes on the internet and the penalties that you can pay with the rest of your life. And also we're going to be talking about the music composition that Destiny, music composition contest that Destiny has been having, results from the last one, and then the new theme for the new contest. But before we get started, I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host each and every week, Mr. Stephen Bonnell, aka Destiny. What's up?
Same shit as always.
Same shit. You got a ton of boss in the background. You moving or something?
No, I just have all these computers and I'm putting them together tonight. I have to put them together tonight.
Nice. And then we got our esteemed guest today, the guy who is kind of the Hearthstone aficionado these days, Mr. Value Town. I think that's the best. I think that's kind of your slogan these days. But it's none other than Trump. What's up, buddy?
Hello. It's good to be here on a Hearthstone section. Yay.
Hearthstone section, yeah, exactly. No, it's going to be great having you having you come on and talk a little bit about the game itself, maybe what your thoughts are on maybe the potential of the game and just your explosion in success, from the standpoint of viewership and popularity in the last three and a half weeks from the start of the beta. But why don't we get started with that? Hold on a second. Let me change the topic list here. I didn't realize it wasn't set properly. But while I'm doing that, what have you guys been up to today? Anything exciting?
I just woke up a little bit ago because I'm on night schedule bullshit now.
What? I thought you fixed your schedule, no?
Yeah, it's always fixed. But sometimes Erin works night shift for 5 days in a row and then she goes back to day shift, so I'm have to be on night shift.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay, that sucks. But okay, there we go. Topic bar is fixed. Let's talk about Hearthstone. Let's just jump right into Hearthstone with Trump. So I've been talking about Hearthstone just the last couple weeks on the show, and I've been playing every night. And last night I was even on this show Turn 2 that Artosis and Doa started recently about Hearthstone. That was a lot of fun. But had already asked Jeff or Trump here, I think about a week ago, to see if you could hop on, and I'm glad we finally figured it out. But yeah, dude, talk about Hearthstone and really just everything that it's kind of meant for you the last few weeks. I mean, did you...
Hey, can I bust in for like 2 seconds here? Because the chat is going crazy.
Okay.
Real fast. There's been a guy running around Twitch like fucking DDoSing like crazy over the past little bit. So I think everybody on this Skype call is on a proxy of some sort right now. A lot of people are commenting on the mic quality of and the video quality of Trump, and I don't. Somebody's probably mentioned mine eventually, but yeah, that's the reason why. Because we're all
unfortunately, guys,
right now, so.
Yeah, that's the price we pay for not having the shows completely interrupted at this point. We want to finish these shows and have great episodes. So yeah, but yeah. Anyways, getting back to Trump. Yeah, talk to us about it. Talk to us about. I think we all, well, at least me and you, probably got the beta key on the same day. But you've just had a lot of success. So, yeah, what's your thoughts on Hearthstone?
Well, the short of it is it's the best game ever.
Okay. All right.
The more detailed of it is I think it's a big improvement on Magic the Gathering in that it has a lot of the more annoying parts of Magic eliminated, and it's got so much production value. It's really fun to watch. All the cards have animations and sounds. Plays really well. Mm-hmm. All in all, it's the best game ever.
And you played Magic for a while, right? I think I remember hearing you on your stream.
Yeah, I've played Magic for over 10 hours. Or
10 hours? That's it? 10 years? What are those things that you were mentioning that were really annoying?
Well, in Magic, they have the mana system. I think it's probably the place where it all started. Basically, how it works for people who haven't played Magic is each turn you draw a card, and then it might be a land which produces mana, it might not be. And if you don't draw your land, you're screwed, and if you draw too much land, then you're also screwed. Hearthstone, you get 1 extra mana every turn, so it's a lot less random that way. Also, you can lose the game before you start with Magic the Gathering because you have to mulligan, and then you lose cards. In Hearthstone, you get free cards when you mulligan, free mulligan. Hooray.
Right.
So those are the 2 major improvements I see. Like, at least just at the start, but there's a lot of other stuff too.
Steven, you were going to say something?
You really think it's better than Magic in every way? You don't think it's too simple or anything?
It certainly is simplified, but I think it has a lot of depth and enough depth to basically outweigh the bureaucracy that Magic the Gathering online puts on you.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about Hearthstone as being, I guess the best way to describe this, like, I think the direct correlation people have been saying it's kind of the LoL version of, it's like League of Legends versus Dota 2. It's just
Whoa.
And that's what people have been saying. I'm just, that's all I'm saying. When you compare Hearthstone to MTG, I mean, it's for the good reasons. I think a lot of people think it's going to be, it's a little bit simplified, so it's going to be more accessible to a lot of people, and therefore a very popular game. Casual, you can call it whatever you want, but it's going to be a very, very popular game, or more popular than MTG because of it. What do you guys think of that? You think that's probably a good assessment?
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment.
Steven,
Sure, I've never played it. I can't really say anything, but sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you even seen people play that?
Yeah, I watch you play it all the time, dude. I'm subscribed. I've always got your stream on the other window.
Right. You don't believe this fucker. But okay, and so one of the things, one of the kind of things that happened, I've been kind of watching and I've just been really, really intrigued about, and I think it's so cool, is that your viewership has gone up crazy amounts, right, Trump? Like I remember when you were doing StarCraft 2 beta, and your viewership was really good, during the beta times, and you were doing, I think, guides and that sort of thing. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but this is like 5x or 2x. I don't know exactly how much bigger it is. Do you see something similar happening with this as what happened in the beta with StarCraft, or this is completely something separate for you?
This does remind me of the StarCraft beta time. So StarCraft is a little different because it's one of those games where I was initially good because no one else knew how to play, and then old man Trump couldn't keep up with the APM, so eventually fell into obscurity. This game, I should be able to stick in with the best. And yeah, it's the fact that there's so much popularity right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is probably one of, if not the top interest in a closed beta game ever.
You think so? Wow. I mean, they made the most money from closed beta, probably. But I know some other. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I've seen some closed betas like. Even Final Fantasy. Even Final Fantasy 14's closed beta was pretty huge recently, and Diablo's was pretty big too, right? At the time, even for Blizzard. I think. I don't know. I believe.
Diablo was what?
Didn't Diablo's beta? Wasn't Diablo's beta pretty big at the time?
There was a beta for Diablo?
Was there?
Oh yeah, no, there was. I'm sorry, I
was.
remember. Dude, that whole, how, like, if you go through some traumatizing experience as a child, you tend to, like, black it out from your mind, and then you have to go to a psychologist to recall those events. That's kind of what Diablo 3 was for me. Yeah, but I remember. I'm recalling. Yeah, there was a Diablo 3 beta.
Well, I mean, okay, so one thing they've done with this beta, to be fair, is that they've given it, at least the initial round of beta keys, they gave it to all the big streamers and personalities and that sort of bit, right? And all the communities.
All of the big streamers that liked Blizzard, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, describe it how you want, right? So a lot of the World of Warcraft and StarCraft 2 and Diablo folks all got it, right? And that was part of their marketing scheme for this. And overall, I think it's worked, right? I mean, the hype for Hearthstone the last few weeks has been really, really, really big.
Not just Blizzard guys. Like, I've seen a lot of League of Legends.
Yeah,
popular guys too.
That's true. Yeah. Recently, I've definitely seen a lot more pros playing League of Legends pros and stuff. So yeah, I think they did a good job. I mean, obviously there was these crazy key giveaways, and and just craziness on the Reddit, on the subreddit, and that sort of thing that this has caused. But all in all, I think that's a good thing. I mean, keys are. I mean, this is just going to happen, right? When there's like a huge demand for something, people are going to sell them, and people are going to auction them off and crazy stuff like that. But okay, so about the game. So let's go into the game a little bit. One of the things that you stream the most is Arena. And do you play custom games much, or do you ladder and that sort of bit?
I played Constructed for a bit in the beginning, just because to get the feel of how to play and whatnot. I actually built a pretty solid rogue deck, which I competed in the streamer tournament, and with fortune on my side, I won that one. It's pretty cool being able to construct your own deck, but I like just the constant randomness and always different nature of arenas.
So is it really that random though? Because I was talking to Doa and Artosis about it last night, and they actually think the arena is pretty, like the way to play arena is like one like a very certain value based way, and they think it's very one dimensional in that regard. Even though like your deck's gonna be changing constantly, when you draft. But that was their opinions of it. Would you disagree with that?
There's probably some truth to that, in that there's usually a best pick, but it changes based on your, like, once you've made a few of your better picks, then you have to start evaluating other cards based on your initial picks, and it changes each time, and you sometimes don't get certain cards, so you have to go for a different strategy. You sometimes get a string of certain cards early, and then you push your other cards in that direction. It's different enough, I think.
Okay. It's Destiny on Hearthstone. So when it comes to streaming Arena, do you think the viewers like watching Arena more so than ladder and in custom games?
I can't say that for certain, but I think Arena keeps it fresh. I think if you want to do Constructed, if I want to do Constructed, I would probably try to mix it up, not just use the same deck over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the tournament, I noticed that you were you had constructed multiple decks for multiple situations, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But I think a lot of people in like the CCG communities and tournaments and the TCG also, they think that having a sideboard is more appropriate than having completely new decks. Which do you think is actually better?
Yeah, I agree with that. The general thing that I would, like, if there were tournaments, I would say you'd probably want to have an initial deck registered, and then maybe you can sideboard, say, somewhere between 15 to 33% of your deck in.
Okay, cool. So have you been playing a lot of tournaments recently, or just that streamer tournament?
Just that one. Maybe in the future.
Okay, cool. All right, so Steven, like I know you've been kind of watching, just keeping an eye out, right? Like you mentioned that on just the streaming numbers of Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I don't know, why do you think it's been so high? I mean, do you think it's just mostly the viewer base and fan base of these people from the other games that just happen to be watching Hearthstone, or do you think it actually does have to do with Hearthstone at this point?
I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I mean, it's a Blizzard game, which is awesome. The game itself is relatively exciting to watch if you're into trading card games. And it seems to be a pretty good game. I mean, I imagine it must be to keep so much attention for so long from different people. Well, for so long, as long as it's been out. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Sure, right?
Yeah, I get, yeah.
I can't comment on the specifics. I haven't played it yet, but that would be my guess.
Good guess.
So are you going to play it or not?
I'm thinking about it. I wanted to hop in at the beginning when the fucking hype train was rolling through, but now I'm worried that the hype train might be gone, and I want to invest too much time into it. If I don't like it, I'm not sure.
Trump,
I mean, I really like trading card games, though, but I don't know. I don't know. I would have to. I don't know.
Trump, you think
What
the
happened
hype
to
train's
playing
over?
games because you like them, Destiny?
That's why I play League of.
Yeah, dude, you're the person that said you weren't enjoying
Yeah,
yourself. Like,
fuck that game. No, I don't know. I might try it. I might try it. The money sink seems a little bit scary to me because I'm in a position where I could probably dump more money than I should into a trading card game.
so Trump,
So I don't
how
know.
much money have you spent on the game?
Well, if you want to get technical, 0.
There you go.
That's a
Do
lot
it
of
through
money. That's a lot of
donations.
money,
That's how you do
Destiny.
it.
That's a lot of money,
Well,
Destiny.
no, actually, well, okay, let's get real talk value then. I've spent $20 on it. $20 because a viewer donated a few and requested me buy some packs. I was like, oh, I don't really need them. I'll just go Arena, but he insisted, so I bought them. In Arena, I haven't spent anything.
Okay, so oh wow, so it's not even donations. You've just officially only spent $20 on the beta, even from fans. Oh wow, okay. I thought maybe you were just buying packs from donations. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. That's pretty hard to do, honestly. So that's pretty impressive that you've been able to play Arena the whole time without without running out of gold, because you're 9-0ing it or 9-1ing it or whatever, just constantly. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty tough.
So yeah, Steven, it's free, man.
It's free.
It's free.
Great.
What the hell, dude? Skill based.
And you know what?
Skill-based.
You get in, I'll give you some Hearthstone Arena lessons free of charge because we're
Oh
besties.
my
Oh,
goodness.
look at that, dude. Oh man. Videos, man. Videos right there. I told you, Steven, you can play whenever you want to play.
Think about it. Listen, man, I got so much shit I have to do. After I put together all these computers and beat Final Fantasy Tactics again, I'll play the Hearthstone. That's what I'll do, okay?
All right, we'll see. We'll see if that key still exists by that time. But Trump, what have you thought about the whole viewership right now? I mean, you're getting anywhere from 3 to 10,000 every time I watch your stream every day. That's pretty
Yeah,
insane.
it's really amazing.
That's pretty insane.
Yep, way more than I thought. So when I started, I didn't know how popular it was gonna be, and who knew? Apparently, people like watching someone who knows what they're doing in Hearthstone. So hooray!
Do you think winning that streamer tournament helped you even helped your popularity even more, or do you think it was pretty much it was already there regardless?
Sorry.
Certainly couldn't have hurt. So
Yeah, sure.
it seemed to have helped a bit. It's a little bit different than what I do because the streamer tournament was a constructed tournament, and I usually do Arena. But yeah, pretty cool.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I've been thinking about running a mini tournament, kind of like my Superstar Strikers one, which would be cool if I had you guys playing it, but I still haven't had the details quite yet. What do you think of tournaments being run the way that last one was, which was there's no OBS mode yet for the game, so
Yeah.
I think they were asking you guys for permission to restream your stream, right, from their browser. Do you think that's an acceptable way to do it, or?
That is the only way to do it right now.
Oh, it is the only way, but honestly that's the reason why I haven't done an event. Like I would have done an event that weekend, or maybe even the weekend before. Probably not that weekend because I didn't want to overlap with them. But I probably would have done an event much earlier because I was kind of excited about it. But I didn't think the community would be accepting of that 5-minute delay, business, and potentially the stream chat potentially revealing cards to any of the players. But I don't know. Did it seem like a problem at all to you during that tournament?
There was a little bit of drama here and there, and but with a 2-minute delay, not much information can get leaked. Certainly, we all hope that observer mode is put in soon so that tournaments can be run a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably my biggest request right now for the game is the OBS mode. Even replay would be decent. I think.
Replays too, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the big things I think a lot of people are discussing with the game is the coin, just the way to balance out going first versus going second. And right now, I think the consensus is the going second is a huge advantage, and I kind of agree with that too. Given that the coin, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the way that Hearthstone tries to balance going second just having that disadvantage of going second, is they give you a card that's called a coin that gives you an extra mana, but it also counts as a card and it also counts as a spell, which other cards in the deck, have extra value based on combo plays and stuff like that. And on top of that, they also give you an extra card when you're first looking at your when you first draw your hand, and you can discard from 4 cards versus the person that goes first only has 3 cards to discard from. So what do you think about that right now, and what things would you change if you think changes are needed?
All right, so I guess I will start the first controversial statement here because
Uh-oh.
it seems the entire Hearthstone internet thinks the coin is OP. I think that going first has its own set of gigantic advantages in that every single turn you are 1 mana ahead, and you get to keep the pressure and the initiative. It's one of those games where if you have board control early, you can just keep that advantage, and that's why the second player gets such a big counterbalance in that they get the coin and an extra card and whatnot. Without having statistics available to me, unlike Blizzard, I can't say whether or not the coin is balanced or not. But I'm sure that they have record keeping and they try to keep it at 50-50. That said, I will say there is one particular instance where the coin is OP. That would be in a rogue deck with the 5-string leader, and then you get scrubbed and then you lose.
It's good. That is by far the strongest play off of the coin. So you think the coin? I understand the extra mana, and maybe even the extra card, right, to discard. But do you think the coin should be changed though into something that's maybe a UI, like a button in the UI that maybe adds a mana or something that doesn't count as a card or a spell?
Yeah, that makes sense as a solution to me.
Yeah.
I think it's just weird that rogues get such a huge advantage when they get the coin, so that seems like an elegant enough solution.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just that. It's not even just a fight. It's just like later on, people will get like the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, right? And they'll just play the coin and get an extra card, or even for the Drake, it's like an extra hit point in attack just for a worthless card. I mean, a card that's not supposed to. I feel like something that's not supposed to act that way. So there's like even advantages late game with the coin.
Yep. I mean, part of the cool thing about the coin when you argue it from that side is it's really flexible. So if the second player needs that flexibility to keep the advantage that the massive advantage that the first player has, then maybe it's necessary. But either way, I think the main problem with it is that it goes into the 5-string layer, and that's about it.
Okay, cool. Do you think the Rogue's the strongest class right now?
In Arena, yes. I'm not sure in Constructed. Probably not in Constructed. I think there's a lot of viable options.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of Constructed, and the Rogue seems pretty. The Rogue, I think, is the strongest one for me. Just given that opening plus all the combo abilities, it's pretty nasty right now. But it's ranked classes in Arena. Sorry, I'm just looking at chat. But when do you think the game's actually going to be launched? Do you think it'll be this year? You think it'll be? I mean, Blizzard usually takes a while with their betas, right? And I don't know. I'm wondering if it's going to be, by the end of the year, or if we're really just going to be waiting another year and a half or so before this thing comes out.
All I remember is that Blizzard said that beta would come out during summer, and that happened, right? Late summer.
Late
if
summer.
we'll call that.
Yeah. Sure.
And they said it would be released this year, so unless there were announcements that it was delayed, I think I think this year is possible, late this year.
Okay. Yeah, for those of you that don't know about Hearthstone is Blizzard's new CCG game that they've developed. That it's a card game, but they've made it into a client and a great game that has animations and really, really crazy cool, nice UI. And you can apply for the beta. It's an opt-in beta, so if you get into your Battle.net account, you can go into I think the games section and then just check your opt-in in button or checkbox for that you want to be, you want to participate in the beta, and each time I guess a big old block of keys comes out, you'll have a chance to get a key. I think yesterday they had released a bunch, so hopefully a lot of folks got their keys and are able to play it right now. What's funny is like I learned yesterday that there's no GM. I've been trying to get GM this whole time, and then I just realized that GM hasn't even been released, so it's just like, oh shit.
Right, like
I didn't know
Grandmaster.
that.
Exactly. I was just wanting to be Grandmaster because I'll never even sniff Grandmaster in StarCraft.
Do they have like the same? Is it the same rating system they use in StarCraft? I mean, bronze, silver, gold.
It's pretty similar. There's like a couple that are below bronze. It's copper, not bronze. It's like I don't
Really?
forget what the
I
first
didn't-
two. Yeah, it's copper, silver, silver, gold, plat. Yeah, gold, plat, diamond, masters, and then GM. Dirt League. Yeah, I forget. I don't even remember what the first two are. I mean, I don't even think you start there. I think you start in copper, so you have to be extra bad to be in that bottom league.
Damn.
I didn't know there was one below. Whatever.
How much dust do you have right now, Trump? Because I noticed that during the tournament, you constructed a card. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you can construct cards or craft cards. I think that's how they put it, with dust that you can accumulate through Arena or selling your own cards for a discounted rate. So you don't have to actually draw or buy, like, you don't have to actually wait until you get them in a pack, which is what happens in Magic, right? I mean, you literally have to just pray for the card you want every time you buy a pack of Magic cards. This one you can just build up, accrue a bunch of cards, and then craft your own card. But yeah, so is that your plan with your dust? Just accumulated dust is to play crafted or just constructed tournaments and then buy the necessary cards, whether it's epic or legendary, that you need?
Yeah, that's about right. So I'd like to take a moment to actually say how great that dust system is. I think it's pretty innovative. It's different from other trading card games in that, it's why it's not called a trading card game, because you can't trade. Instead, you disenchant your own stuff, and then you can craft any card you want. Very flexible. It's fantastic. My plans for the dust are just to think up a good deck, and then whatever I need, I can just craft up with the dust. That's great.
Yeah, the trading thing is interesting. I mean, kind of want to... Well, I know you don't know much about it, Steven, but I was going to ask you about it. They have this concept of, like, foiled cards. Like, you can get foiled versions of all the cards right now. And...
Like holographic kind of?
Yeah, like a holographic kind of, the special versions of it, right? Which are usually very valuable, right, in normal TCGs and CCGs. But the thing is like, you can't trade them, and there's no real collectible aspect to this, right? If you can't sell them or you can't trade them. So is there really any point to a foil?
That sounds like a nightmare to manage from Blizzard's perspective. Like, there would be no way to keep people from selling those cards, like, on eBay and shit, you know?
Yeah, but is that so wrong? I mean, I agree that it's like a nightmare to, like, if people are hacking accounts, or they're going to be more enticed to hack accounts and that sort of thing. But
it's a lot more complicated because actually, this is really cool. You should have brought a lawyer on to talk about this. But so in real life, when you purchase cards, trading cards, those are physically your property. You can do what you want with them, like the cards themselves. It's your property. But when you're playing Hearthstone, the game, even when you buy booster packs and shit, those cards that you own are still the intellectual and probably even the physical property of Blizzard, such that I'm sure if you read their terms of service, they could say, we reserve the right to, at any time, kick you the fuck out of our game and you'll get fucked in the ass and we'll keep all your cards and shit, because it's all just data to them,
Yeah.
Whereas in a trading card game, you could get banned from an infinite number of Magic tournaments, but they can't take your cards from you, because you own it, it's physical. So that's really strange. How would a trading card game work online if the players don't actually own the property? And would that impede the progress of a trading card game, because you can't really trade or sell cards because it's all just data,
Yeah. Trump, what do you think?
Well, I come from Magic the Gathering Online, and I guess that would be the most direct comparison. I don't know how Wizards rules about who owns the cards and whatnot, but certainly the cards online there are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than the real-world counterparts. So there's a whole
Wait, on Magic the
market
Gathering
for
online, the cards were just as valuable online as the first edition hollow foils or whatever would be in real life?
well, Magic Online doesn't have the earlier cards, but say the new release, they are, say, $50 cards in real life. Magic the Gathering Online, they're also $50. So the online market sort of mirrors the real market, or maybe the other way around, the way things are working now.
So can you sell cards though in MTG?
On
you-
Magic Online, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
One player can sell another card to another player?
Yep.
And
Oh,
and
that's
does Magic the Gathering take a cut of that?
Well, the only way to get the cards is by buying the boosters from the Magic the Gathering online store. So it all flows into Wizards anyways.
Sure, but I just mean like let's say let's say I want to buy a card from you and you're selling it for $50. Would I pay $50 and you would get $50, or do they take a cut of it?
They don't cut it. They don't take a cut of it. How it works is that there's a virtual currency system there. They use a currency called tickets. Ticket is like $1, and then you can buy your card for 50 tickets. You give the other player 50 tickets. They give you the card.
Gotcha.
And that's probably
that's-
how it would have worked for WoW TCG, like instead with Dust, if you could trade cards, but you can't. And I think that's good because trading cards is a hassle.
Yeah, I think so too. It'd be pretty cool if there could be some kind of way to that if you either own the physical card or you own the online version, you could, you essentially own the counterpart. You know what I mean? Like if let's say I bought like a card online, whether it's MTG Online or it's Hearthstone, and because I bought it, I could actually ask for a physical version of that card anytime. If we wanted to play like Hearthstone, like together, like on a weekend or something at somebody's house, that'd be pretty cool if you could do that. Because then they could sell packs. They could sell physical packs too, and then you could, like, I don't know, physical packs with cards that had input codes or something that you could just type in, and then it would show up in your client. That'd be kind of cool too.
That's a big jump, though. If they don't have any production, they would have to go to like Wizards of the Coast or whatever to print.
Yeah.
If they don't have any plans for physical cards yet, I mean, that would be a big.
I mean, production is that's not that hard for those companies to figure out. Especially cards. Cards aren't that expensive, anyways. But okay, so it is possible. It is possible to do that. Yeah, I always thought the foil, that concept was really weird in Hearthstone, given that nothing else really points to a collectible side of it. And the foil works for cards that you can only have one of, like a regular card that only have one of. But they have foil cards for cards that you can have two of them already, and you can only have two at max in a constructed deck. In Arena, you can have like 10 of any card, right? But in the constructed deck, you're allowed two, so it doesn't even make sense to have foil versions of those, I don't think, except for that it looks cool. But yeah. Okay, well, I don't know, anything else you want to bring up, Trump, before we take some questions? I figured we'd get a bunch of questions from the viewers here before before we switch topics and that sort of bit. But anything you wanted to say about Hearthstone in general?
Let's see. I think I'll get inspired by the questions. Go with that.
Okay. Yeah, so for those of you that have any questions for Trump, go ahead and type them out in stream chat right now, or you can... Actually, I think there's a few in the Reddit thread. Let me pull up the Reddit thread real quick. The Reddit thread, guys, is right here. I tried to post one in the StarCraft, or in the Hearthstone subreddit, but I think the mods don't like, I don't know, show postings or whatnot. So
Get fucked.
So here's the Reddit thread. You can post your questions there. But okay, so one question's from the stream chat right now. It's who's your favorite Hearthstone player besides yourself right now?
I haven't had the opportunity to watch that many other streamers and players. Uh,
He's too busy doing his own thing, man.
yeah. Sorry for the cop out. Can't say one. Yeah. All
Okay.
of them.
All of them? Okay. Please do talk about coin. We already talked about that. Let's see. Any in here? How many Trump card jokes did Trump have to hear so far from Toto in Kansas?
I usually am the one making them, so yep. I've probably made the Trump card joke at least 10 times myself.
That's good. That's good. For Tuin asks, how does Trump and ChanManV feel about Blizzard's handling of the beta in general? Is this a model for future betas? There's been a lot of criticism from the potential audience summed up in nicely posts. There's some posts from the Hearthstone subreddit. Blizzard using keys as prizes is building a lot of ill will towards the company and creating a marketplace of scalpers, streamers, scammers, stringing along people in hopes of getting keys. Instead of being keys in email, the keys should be tied to Battle.net accounts so they can't be traded or used as bait for scams reviews. What do you guys think of that? Actually, Steven, let me get your opinion on it since...
Sounds good. I agree wholeheartedly. God damn, that was put so succinctly I can't help but agree.
What? All right, Trump. What do you think of that? Do you think the way they've been? Do you think the keys should be tradable or should not be tied to a Battle.net account?
Absolutely, the keys shouldn't be a tradable commodity. I think that it's. I don't want to sound selfish, but I do think it's a good idea that they gave it to a few of the more well-known people first, because that lets it be showcased. Along with that, they should randomly give them out to everyone also, and not have it be a key, but just tied to an account.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's really the root of all the evil. Is just that people are trying to sell them. Blizzard doesn't want you to sell them. I think we all received emails from the community folks saying that we're not supposed to sell them or even give them to our subscribers in any way. Just in any way we can't distribute the keys that would, I guess, benefit us monetarily. So I think just tying them to the Battle.net account would have been the best thing. But I agree. I think giving it to the big known streamers and personalities is a good strategy. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. It's kind of crazy. Okay, let's take a couple more, maybe 2 or 3 more in the stream chat, and then we'll let Trump go here, and then he can stream some Hearthstone for you guys. I know you guys are dying to watch him play. Okay, what advice do you have for new players to MTG or Hearthstone that separates good players from the bad? From Danny254.
Okay, that's a great question, Danny. One of the biggest things when you get to these card games is that they tell you that the way to win is to reduce your opponent's hit points down to 0 from whatever they're at. But that is an illusion, because your life points are actually a resource. What's more important is the cards you hold in your hand. So whoever has more cards will be able to control the flow of the game. So you're always, I guess to start off with, you should just be looking at ways to outcard your opponent.
With card drawing ability and that sort of bit? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, not just card drawing ability, but being able to not just swing at the opponent's, attack your opponent every time, but see wherever you can get some value by being able to get favorable trades, like being able to kill their creatures with your creature and then having it survive. Just look out for those opportunities.
Okay, great. So let's see. Somebody asked here, what cards do you think are OP? And I'll tack on another question for an additional thing, which is what is your favorite card right now in the entire deck, not just Rogue?
By favorite card, do you mean the card I think is most strong, or the card that I personally like the most?
Well, first off, OP, so the card that's most OP, and then secondly, both, the strongest and your favorite, either one.
Okay.
Both. Yeah.
Top 3 in strong links. I'll say 1, Defias Ringleader. 2, Pint-Sized Summoner. 3,
Really?
Twilight Drake.
Okay.
And
Pint-sized
4,
summoner,
Hero
really?
Drake.
Okay. I can't keep that thing alive more than a round. The pint-sized summoner.
Yeah, the Pint-Sized Summoner is balanced by the fact that it's easy to kill, but if you don't kill it, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, that's true. And your favorite card?
My favorite card is Mad Bomber.
The random of randomest cards, right?
So that, I feel like Mad Bomber is sort of a skill tester because it seems random at first glance, but there are often times where you can play it and get extremely strong results out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just play it on turn 2, it's going to be pretty boring, but you play it in certain situations and it's amazing.
Yeah. He's a 3/2 too. Even in turn 2, he's a pretty strong play regardless of... I mean, it'd suck if you took 3 damage from it, but if you take 1 or 2 damage, it's actually not too bad. Pretty good play regardless.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, one more. How about one more? Let's see. Okay, so what class do you think is the weakest right now, or needs the most work?
All right, I'm going to answer that from a arena perspective since I can't talk so much about constructed. And maybe in constructed there's some super combo deck of this type, but an arena would be Priest because for a few reasons. Priest has no hard removal, which is to say like just get rid of one of the creatures with no other things no strings attached unless they're really high in mana. They don't have any area of effect other than one specific card, and it's also rare. And they don't have much ways to remove guys even in early game, so they have a tough time.
How would you change it?
That's really tough. The way to change it would probably be to it'd be a pretty big overwork. You'd have to change a lot of the priest cards to be less narrow and more generally good.
Okay, yeah, I actually think the priest is the weakest in both, but I think Riparian plays priest quite a bit, so I haven't really been watching him, but I hear that a lot of people keep talking about his priest, so I'll have to check it out sometime. But I wish the Shadow Priest card, there were more of them and it was cheaper. If it was like a 0 card or a 1 card, I think the priest could be pretty darn interesting if you were allowed to go Shadow Priest pretty quickly. Because the Shadow Priest hero ability is probably the best.
Well, yes, it is the best.
Right?
Other than Lord Jaraxxus, of course.
Yeah, well, okay, that's true. 6/6 Inferno is pretty not too shabby, right?
Yep.
Every time you do it. But all right, buddy. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up with the Hearthstone segment of the show, and I appreciate you coming on and hanging out. Is this the first show appearance you've made for Hearthstone?
Yes, it is. So
Awesome.
happy that you invited me over.
Where's first, Steven? Where's first?
I'm glad I could contribute.
God. All right, we're gonna get to the Destiny portion of the show really soon, guys.
Well, hey, calm down. This is fun. This is cool.
This is fun.
Not to be so self-centered, channel man.
He's busy playing DayZ while we do this. Is what it's.
I'm not playing it. Look.
Look.
Calm down.
I'll take a quick break, guys, and then we will we'll talk about mistakes, I guess is the way they describe it, and then the music competition. So, all right, thanks, Trump. Appreciate you coming on. And where can folks follow you and watch you on stream?
Yeah, I could be on. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/TrumpSC, and my Twitter is @TrumpSC.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.